how to run a small literacy intervention group. So this activity and this lesson would be for your beginner readers or those that are struggling with certain letter sounds and haven't learned those skills yet for blending and decoding. So this is your group that you would work on to reinforce certain skills for reading and writing. So this lesson plan works on a few skills. So we've got our sound work first. You would review over sound work and you'd look at week 1 and you'd see, okay, these are the sounds I'm focusing on. Depending, it could go over 2 weeks, 3 weeks, depending on the group and the needs. So this group has learned their k, a, t, a letter sounds. And what would happen is we would then review over it. We'd just flash the cards. We could even say what starts with a k. What word has a short a in the middle of the sound? What word starts with a t? You could just do some sort of quick review. Then you'd work on a skill acquisition, which would be your rhyming. You could do some rhyming. You could do syllable work, phoneme manipulation, word construction orally. So you would say, what word am I saying with these sounds? K, a, t. They would say cat. You could even say, if I take away the short a sound and I put the short what word would it make now? Cot. So you could do some phoneme manipulation as well, like that. Or what words already rhyme with cat? They could say cat, hat. You could do some rhyming activities. Once you've done that, you will then introduce your new letter sound and explicitly teach that. So the new letter sound that this group will be working on is introducing our letter sound P. And again, you would also use letter cards to emphasize correct letter formation when you're doing this. And you would also do some follow-up activities where they would think of words that start with a P, and you would just create activities like that. Again, it could be according to your own skill and quite a bit of flexibility over there. Once you've done that, you will then go on to word reading or word spelling. So we have some pictures. So because they have learned the k, at letter sounds, they can now try and build the word cat using the letter cards. You just place it over there and then they can write it if they're ready to write. And because now we've taught the p sound, we can now bring in pot and they can start building the word pot and they can read that as well. And here are some words as well that you can practice with them to build and read, and they could do this on their own as well. Then we've got dictation. So if they're ready for this, we've got some dictation here. Pat the cat. Now with the word the, you would teach them the heart word method. We also have cards for this, but again, you could teach it on a whiteboard, explain that the I is silent. Well, the I makes a different sound and the heart goes above that letter. So you would go V, and that gets a heart. So they've got to remember this off by heart, and you would just work on that. And then the N they haven't been taught yet, so you would explain that that makes a word on. And you could even put a heart just above that letter if they don't know it yet, just until they have learnt it. Yeah, so that is your dictation if they're ready to move on to that, or you don't even have to do dictation until you have taught the N letter sound. Then once that's happened, you can do some buddy reading. Could be with a decodable reader if they're ready, but remember to choose a decodable reader that only has the letter sounds that you have taught. Or you could just get them to read these words. And again, you can explain that that N makes a N sound. Or if they're not ready for buddy reading, just work on the skills I have shown you previously until they have learned that sound. And then you could do some follow-up activities using some word cards, what letter sound is missing, and to work on their short vowels. And these are the sorts of activities that you can do in your small literacy groups to really reinforce those letter sound concepts so you can help them learn how to read correctly using the right skills and strategies. If you would like this activity, please contact me at the Learning Room, send us a message, and I can send you the links directly.